Alright. What's up? This is Dad Dirty Spoon from the IWC, and this is the Wrestling Recaps Elimination Chamber Preview Show. Well, prediction show. Let's do that. We're gonna try something a little bit different. I'm gonna be right 100% of the time. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Actually, I'm very confident about my predictions this time around. We are going into, this is the last WWE pay-per-view before WrestleMania. And even though WrestleMania is 5 weeks away from the filming of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, it is shaping up to be, well, the main events are pretty much all falling into place. It's just the undercard, as I have said, is getting really exciting. But we're not here for that. We're here for you are here to know. Well, let me just give you my predictions. Stop that. Anyway, some of these are a bit spoilerish because these have been announced on television yet. But the pre-show match will be the Rhodes Scholars versus Tensai and Brodus Clay. A couple weeks ago, the Rhodes Scholars broke up on television amicably. However, Tensai and Brodus Clay have been tag teaming on television, most recently on Monday Night Raw. That leads me to believe that they would continue to let this team that they just put together go forward, while a team that just broke apart is probably cannon fodder. I see Brodus Clay and Tensai going over the Rhodes Scholars. Another match that's just been added is the United States champions Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz for the US title. Again, this is the second straight pay-per-view that these two have been actually fighting. The first time was the pre-show of the Royal Rumble, and Antonio Cesaro was able to get the win. However, I do believe that this time around, as much over as I think that they're trying to get The Miz as a former World Heavyweight Champion or WWE Champion, I don't think that this is the right time to take the belt off Cesaro. Cesaro is really a good act. He's got a huge upswing. The Miz, I think, has plateaued. The only thing is that I wish I knew when the Marine 2 was coming out, because then I'd be able to make a much more stronger prediction, because I think that they are going to try and keep The Miz at the forefront and as a babyface for the premiere of that film. However, since I don't see it anywhere on IMDb, I'm going to say Antonio Cesaro goes over on The Miz and retains his United States Championship. Next match is a Divas match of Kaitlyn versus Tamina. Again, the Divas have had no appearances on television. So if that's been the case, I think the last time was Raw Roulette, the night after Elimination. No, the night after the Royal Rumble was Raw Roulette. And they had a Divas headdress, like, I don't know. Anyway, long story short, Kaitlyn retains. They're not going to switch it to Tamina. Tamina doesn't talk. Kaitlyn talks. Kaitlyn's a face. They're going into WrestleMania season. They're going to want a bright, bubbly personality. And it's a shame because Tamina is one of the last good female wrestlers that they've got in that company. Not to say that Kaitlyn isn't a good female wrestler. I'm just saying that Tamina's got the lineage and the name. And anyway, I just hope that this doesn't give her long-term damage any more so than being a WWE diva. Anyway, that was dumb, but not wrong. The next match in the card looks like it is the World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio facing the Big Show for the World Title. This is a no-brainer. Big Show is not going to regain the World Heavyweight Championship. Alberto Del Rio needs to be strong going into WrestleMania to face the winner of the Smackdown Elimination Chamber match. So Alberto Del Rio will be going over the Big Show. He will retain his World Heavyweight Championship. That leads us into the Smackdown Elimination Chamber match. Mark Henry, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Jack Swagger, Kane, and Daniel Bryan have all been confirmed as of today. That doesn't necessarily mean someone might get knocked out by A1 Mr. Money in the Bank, but if we, based off of this lineup, I am going to go out on a limb. I'm going to run out there really fast. Alberto Del Rio will go over the Big Show, but his next challenger at WrestleMania will be a returning Mark Henry. That's right. I think that Mark Henry will win the Elimination Chamber. I think Daniel Bryan and Kane will cancel each other out, similar to the way they did in the Royal Rumble. Randy Orton, still damaged goods. And Chris Jericho, I think, is going to get taken out by a Dolph Ziggler, who will not be in the match, but he will interfere in the match. And that just leaves Jack Swagger and a one Mark Henry. Both returning stars, both returning with a little bit of fanfare. Jack Swagger's new look, according to what I saw on the promo by his new managerial partner, looks like he's probably not going to be going after Alberto Del Rio. But I think it's really between Mark Henry and Jack Swagger. It really depends on where Jack Swagger is. I haven't seen much, but what I've seen of Henry, he's been dominating, he's been unstoppable, and I think that that will continue until he goes to WrestleMania. And but that hasn't happened yet. However, I do think Mark Henry and Jack Swagger are the two this is really between, and I do believe that Mark Henry will exit the Elimination Chamber as the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Anyway, next match, we've got John Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus versus The Shield. This is another no-brainer. John Cena's team goes over. I hope that they keep The Shield strong. I hope that there is a huge beatdown, and somehow, some way, that I'm going to call Team Cena is able to isolate one of the members of the Shield, and that's how they get the pinfall. I hope it's not there like the way they did it on 3MB, where they're just trading super moves all day. I mean, that would be boring, and that would just literally bury the Shield, and that is not what I want to see. I want to see the Shield coming out of this strong, but I do believe that we're going to see Team Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus come out of this with the win. And that leads us to our main event, The Rock, the WWE Champion, versus CM Punk, the Challenger. If The Rock is counted out or DQ'd, he loses the WWE Championship, but this is a no-brainer. The Rock will win this match. We are careening out of control to Rock Cena 2, this time for the World Heavyweight Championship. This Elimination Chamber is not going to detour this freight train. These two guys will face each other at the main event in WrestleMania 29. As much as I would love for it to be a triple threat, as much as I would love for CM Punk to be in that title picture at Mania, I don't see it happening. I really don't. I think that they're going to get the money. The story is not going to be the better man. The story is going to be Cena's redemption when he captures the WWE Championship from The Rock at WrestleMania, getting his win back, putting him over, and again, for the millionth time, establishing him as the top superstar in WWE. And that's how I see it. Again, this is a pretty straightforward pay-per-view with very few deviations. Quick rundown of the card. In the pre-show, I see Tensai and Brodus going over Rhodes Scholars. I see Antonio Cesaro retaining his U.S. title against The Miz. I think that Kaitlyn retains her Divas title chip against Kaitlyn. I think Alberto Del Rio retains his World Heavyweight Championship against Big Show. I think Mark Henry comes out of the Elimination Chamber, but it's really between Mark Henry and Jack Swagger. I'm not backtracking. I still think Mark Henry comes out of the chamber, but if Jack Swagger comes out, I won't be surprised. Then we've got the six-man tag of Team John Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback versus The Shield. John Cena's team goes over, and the WWE Champion, The Rock, will retain against CM Punk. Like I said, the WWE is going all systems go towards New York, New Jersey, WrestleMania. This is a slight detour, but as you can see, nothing really will change afterward. This may as well be a super edition of Raw. But with the Elimination Chamber, I'm expecting to see them develop some of the undercard for WrestleMania, and that makes me super excited. This has been That Good Spoon from the IWC, signing off.